morning, Houston. This is Oscar Hines, and welcome to the Natural Nation Network, the show that peels back the layers of confusion on health, on wellness, emotionally, spiritually, and every other way, I think. I am absolutely excited to have in the studio with us two amazing ladies and on the phone an amazing gentleman. So this is going to be a fabulous conversation. We are going to be talking about ways to start adjusting and becoming transformational in our we'll get Darren on in a second. Just give us one moment there. Let's see. Darren, can you hear us okay?
Oscar, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Welcome to the show. Darren is a motivational speaker in his own right. Say hello, Darren.
Hello, Oscar. How's everyone? Hello,
Wow.
Cynthia. And
Hello,
Jasmine.
Hi,
Darren.
how are you? Good morning. Good afternoon.
I see you guys on Facebook Live. You guys look wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Look, I need to tune in on Facebook too.
Yeah, that's right. So, folks, those of you out there that want to tune in, just go to your Facebook page and go to KYND Radio. And that'll allow you to tune right in and KYND Radio. And I want to also invite you guys to hit the share button because we're going to have a good conversation here. So Darren, we're going to talk about this transformational piece for people who have challenges, and Cynthia specializes in the area of women over 40. So maybe we could frame this a little bit in conversation. And Cynthia, if you could give us some insight, why women over 40?
Well, I chose this niche really based on my own personal experience. You know, they said sometimes your trial gives you the impetus to do something in that area. And it was over 40 when, I did the normal things. I went to university, I got married, I had children, and, life was flowing very good. And I thought I had it. Everything would work out just the way I imagined. Mm-hmm. And after 40, lots of changes I started having in my life, lots of challenges. I lost both parents in 1 year. My children were adults and heading out of home, started having my own marital challenges. Mm-hmm. And the life that I envisaged, just felt like it disappeared from under my feet. And I was stuck for a long time. And, when you're in that bad place, you think you're the only person who having those experiences because you probably didn't know something or didn't do something right. And then, when I got to a place to open up a little bit, you realize it's a challenge for a lot of people. So it doesn't have to be something, tragic. But there comes a time when people, I guess when you're getting older, that sense of mortality really hits home a little bit more. And there is more of an urgency, which is, urgency is not bad, but a lot of us get to that place of desperation. Thinking that we'll kind of go back to our maker with our songs unsung. So that I know that I've experienced that. And for a long time I felt I wouldn't be able to create anything new. And that is not a new way to engage. So for me, I feel that is my mission now, because so many talented, women with talent, women and men, because I've coached some men, but men tend to be a little more reluctant.
She wants to say hard-headed. She wants to say,
I'm trying to be
they're trying to be diplomatic. Us knuckleheads don't know how to ask for some help. That's what you want to say. Okay.
But I feel it's my mission, that once we have life, we have a chance to enjoy it. We have a chance to contribute. We have a chance to use, everything that God has given us, right, to add value to our own lives, our families, and the world. So my goal is to really encourage women to get clear about what it is you want, because a lot of us stuck in what we don't want, but to get clear as to what you want it to look like, how you want to feel, what you want to do, and get the support structures, the networks that will guide you to where you want to go, because you can't create a new life. You can't create, a wonderful life, a life of contribution and joy.
I like that. Think about many women at that particular age. It's a challenge because the children have now many gotten to adulthood. They've given the best years of their life. In some cases, their husband decided that he wants some new thing.
Exercise other options.
That's right. And all of a sudden, here you are after sacrificing better than 20 years of your life in a place where you've been giving all that time and you're almost on empty, And now what? Now what?
Now what?
And that's the challenge. So Darren, when someone experiences that place of emptiness and that place of despair, what are the ways that they can start moving this in another direction?
That is a great question, Oscar. And Cynthia hit it right on the head when she used the word. She says, my mission. It's important for all of us on a day-to-day basis to clearly understand and identify what our specific mission in life is. It's something simple as having a personal mission statement to just say, who am I? How do I want to represent? How do I want to serve? What direction do I want to head in? Most people, just like we watch companies all day long, they have a vision statement, they have a mission statement, and then they have goals and plans to execute it.
Right.
So for us,
Sure.
we have to start off by defining who we are and what our personal mission statement is, and what is that mission statement going to reflect to our day-to-day life and the people that see us and that we serve. It's about our personal mission.
Wow. Well said.
Totally
I have
agree.
with me in studio Miss Cynthia DeLandro, Miss Jasmine Anderson, and Darren Brown is on the line. John Maxwell, certified motivational speaker. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to delve in deep on how we start making those changes and taking those to really, really encourage. And I'd like, Darren, if you could speak to this for a second, and that is, when we're feeling sad, when we're feeling bad, we miscreate. Bad stuff is attracted to us.
Yes.
But when we're feeling good, when we're feeling happy, we're in the creation mode, and good things are attracted. Darren, would you concur?
I would absolutely concur, and I'll tell you why. Because see the way our brains are designed and the way chemicals flow through our brain cells? When we focus on things that are negative, then those chemicals don't flow and it doesn't deliver that positive energy to us. But when we also focus on things that are positive, when we are focusing on things that are creative, when we are focusing on things that we are passionate about, those chemicals flow at a higher rate and allow us to have a more positive nature. Oscar, one solution for that I always talk to people about, and this is something that each one of us can do, and I'll ask you, so I want you to ponder on this for a second, Cynthia and Jasmine and Oscar and our audience.
Yes.
Ponder on this for a second. What are the 10 positive things you say to yourself about yourself every single morning?
Wow.
Just single words.
Wow.
How would you describe yourself with 10 single words? Because most times we get up in the morning and we're thinking about problems
It's so true.
versus focusing on solutions. When you think about problems, immediately your mind goes to a certain negative place. But when you think about solutions, you access creativity. So I want us to begin, as we transform our lives, I want us to begin to think about 10 positive ways we describe ourselves every single morning. Say it to yourself. Say it to yourself. Think about solutions. Here's the last thing that I'll mention to you on this point, Oscar. I always tell people, my clients, groups that I speak to, my own personal family, I tell them that we have to have a positive attitude and we have to be a problem solver. Positive attitude, problem solving. If we wake up with that mindset every single day, we'll begin to transform our lives because we'll look for solutions.
Great. Excellent stuff. I'm loving that. Cynthia,
Yes,
what would
and
you like?
I totally agree, and it's something I do with my clients, my friends, and family, because we could choose how we respond to anything, and that's negative self-talk that a lot of us stay stuck in. Is to help people to move from that to just what was said just now. Think about a different, way to see yourself, a different way to view yourself. That self-talk is very negative. Self-talk is very destructive. So, and people have to we've trained ourselves to live like that, and we have to train people to live in an opposite
in
way.
Eastern philosophy, specifically in Hinduism, and they say namaste. And when they say namaste, it literally means I acknowledge the God within you. And it's not a blasphemous statement. It's simply a statement recognizing that each of us, biblically even, have a part of the Creator within us.
Yeah.
Hey, Oscar, can I jump in there for a second?
Sure.
So we're talking about wellness, and everything that you guys are talking about, I want you to know is absolutely on point. Wellness begins mentally. Wellness begins mentally. It was something that Jasmine asked to Cynthia just a little while ago, and she kind of hinted to, hey, what advice would you give someone young so they don't follow in those same footsteps? Let's connect the dots on this, because this also talks about the God within us. Let's connect the dots, because sometimes we miss this. It all starts off, Cynthia mentioned this, with purpose.
Sure.
Discovering our purpose. Everything that was created on this earth was created for a reason and for a very specific purpose. Though we may use it for other things, though we might be good at other things, we were all created for a specific purpose. From our purpose, we establish a vision. From that vision, we develop a mission statement, who we are, and it never changes. But right next to that mission statement are the values and the principles that mission statement is formed with. Because every time somebody look at you, they should be able to identify the values that you said that you were going to live by, which your mission statement is formed by. Now, here's sometimes where we have a little bit of a problem on the back end. So after the purpose is established, once the vision statement is created, once we've identified our mission, then we plan our goals. And most times, we haven't been taught how to establish goals effectively. But what really hurts us is the implementation and the action plan. That's what really hurts us, because we haven't identified the gifts that we have or the talents that we have to apply to the execution, or are we spending a lot of time developing those? So that's where we have to come together to create a greater level of transformation for a greater level of effectiveness for us.
Yes.
Totally agree.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. What are your thoughts, Jasmine?
I mean, I think that's something I try to do, especially when I speak. I like to speak motivational things and telling people to find their vision. And I'm so big on vision boards, because I feel when you have a vision board that's showing purpose, that makes you know, okay, you're clear about where you're going and what you want to do. So I feel your purpose is definitely, you have to find what your purpose is and what you want to do and act on it daily. So everything we're talking about goes with how I try to live, what I try to do, and especially in other people, because a lot of people, they don't know what they want to do. They're doing things just going with the flow. So I think that's what we're talking about right now is really important, especially to everybody. If you're still living, it's important to you no matter what age you are. To you being young, to whatever age, whatever age you are, I think it's important, because you can be 50, 60 and still look back and say, oh, I wish I would have did this. I wish I could have done that. And you can still do those things. You can still do whatever it is that you want to do. You can still go out and do it. You just have to act on it. So,
and I think that's the hardest part, though, because a lot of us good at, establishing goals and vision, but the implementation part, right, and the accountability part, it's very hard.
You mentioned, Jasmine, just before our break, and I think all of us sort of echo this statement, the importance of getting a vision board.
Yes.
And the importance of having a mission statement. Now, for those of you who think that's too much work, I would challenge you to think about this. We spend more money on maintaining our cars, taking it to the car wash every week, and changing oil and all kinds of different things. And we seldom invest in ourselves as much as we invest in our things.
Yes.
But without ourselves being solid, nothing else is going to move forward. Here about some things that we can do in terms of really transforming, taking action, and shifting the trajectory of our lives. When it comes to drilling down on purpose, finding what we're supposed to do, Darren, a lot of people get stuck on this part. They get stuck on, wait a minute, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm working this 9 to 5. I'm paying the bills, but gosh, what's my purpose? What say you?
I say 4 things. Well, 5 things. The first one is we have to open our hearts and be completely honest with ourselves. And that's that moment of meditation. That's that journaling where we can open our hearts. But let me give you 4 questions that you want to ask yourself in order to discover your purpose. All those things that the lady says were absolutely true. Listen to these 4. Ask yourself, what are you extremely passionate about? Notice those 2 words, extremely passionate. Not that I like to do, not that I enjoy, not that I'm okay with. What am I extremely passionate about? Because that desire in your heart, that's where your purpose lies. It's a desire that's in your heart. Because see, when God created us, or everything that was created, everything that was created by its manufacturer was created with a purpose. So when God created us, he created us with a purpose. Here's the second question. What would you do if money was not an issue? Every single day, if you just had $10 billion, besides just laying at home, Oscar, right?
I was going to say amen,
Or yachting, right?
Right.
What would you do every single day if money wasn't an issue? What would you pour yourself into?
Wow.
The next question. What would you do that would give you total fulfillment, that would give your heart joy? Not happiness. I say joy. They're 2 different things. Happiness is based on circumstances and conditions. Joy is internal fulfillment regardless of what occurs. And then here's the last question. Because, see, your purpose is not selfish. Your purpose is about other people.
Sure.
Who and how will I serve others? If you're defining a purpose and the end game is not serving someone else, not building someone else up, to create significance in someone else's life, then 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to say 10 out of 10 times, really, that's not your purpose.
Wow.
So you got to ask yourself those questions. I'll say it again. Ask yourself, what are you extremely passionate about? What would you do if money was not an issue? What would you do that would give you total fulfillment and joy? And who and how will I serve others?
Wow.
That's how we find our purpose, Oscar.
Good stuff. Good stuff. That is some filet mignon you're serving up there, my friend.
Amen.
I'm a health and wellness guy, so let me say that's some really good broccoli.
A real good salad.
Eat your vegetables, for crying out loud. We don't want to clog your arteries, No, that's good stuff.
Jasmine and Cynthia, I'll be over with the collection plate in a moment.
I was going to say, preacher women that are out there that may not yet have found their purpose, and the men. Let's not exclude our brothers here that have not yet found their purpose. How do they find it?
It really calls for what you talk about to start with. We need to get still and get out of that place of misery and suffering. Get still and get clear, right? And it's something individual because my mission would be different from yours, right? Talk to somebody who is trained or somebody who has your best interest at heart. So it's not everybody, right? Take some time off to start writing. So I encourage journaling in large measure because that way people could, one, get their thoughts out on paper and get some ideas to what it is they like, what it is interests them. People, structures, other people encouraging us because we need the greater energies just to keep us on track. Some people are good at it. They don't need that extra support. But we also need somebody to guide us, to support us, to hold the mirror up for us all the time. Like, this is who you are. This is the truth of who you are, right? And you can do it, right? And you have support. You have support. You have source energy. You have people around you. And it's important to develop a support structure around you, too, that will be supportive, encouraging, remind you of your mission, your vision, because we all could get off track a little bit. So that's just basically what I wanted to add to that.
Okay.
That's good. That's good stuff. So Darren, to weigh in on this piece, talking about the mantra, just do it. Speak to that for a moment in terms of taking action.
So great. So when we talk about just do it, it is so interesting because this page that we're on, this is really something that we need to hear. So when we talk about vision and to just do it, sometimes we don't implement and sometimes we don't take action because we believe we have a vision and we believe we're clear, but we're really not clear because we all have different definitions of vision. And sometimes when we have a different definition of vision, somebody says, well, hey, you know what? It's where I want to be in the future. It's where I want to go. So Oscar, Cynthia, and Jasmine, watch this.
Okay.
When we have a general definition of vision, we also make general plans. When we make general plans, we take general action. And when we take general action, we get general results. But when we have a more specific understanding of vision, we have a more specific set of plans, we take more specific action, and we get more specific results. So, Oscar, as far as just doing it, I would like to offer a definition of what vision is so that we can be completely clear about what we're just doing, and that may help to push us to another level of action and implementation. The definition I'd like to offer for vision is a highly detailed mental picture of a preferable future. A, which means one, highly, which means more than normal, detailed. It takes time to write this out. It's not something that we just come up with in a couple of seconds. Mental means that it comes from your mind. Picture means that you see it clearly and of a preferable future that you see for yourself. A highly detailed mental picture of a preferable future. And this will help us to walk more effectively to just do it, Oscar.
I'm loving that definition. I love it. It is exactly what's needed, and it's sort of a nice pairing, Cynthia, with the biblical definition in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, where it identifies faith, and it says it's the assured expectations of things hoped for and the demonstration of realities though not yet beheld. So,
Hey, Oscar?
Yes, sir.
Oscar? Also, what does the word say about not having vision?
We perish.
Without vision, people perish.
Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We forget that one. We forget that one.
Mr. Darren Brown, how do they connect with Darren?
Can I compliment Jasmine Anderson first?
Hey, look, you're a married man, Darren. No, I'm just kidding. We're running out of time. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, very, very quickly. Jasmine's been writing the whole time.
Yes.
Yes.
I commend her. Jasmine took the time to ask her elders in the studio questions because she wanted to learn. Jasmine, I wanted to commend you. The way I can be reached, my telephone number is 281-667-8154. 281-667-8154. My website is dynamicleadership.expert. I'm a people development expert. I help people build the bridges from where they are to where they want to go.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent.
Outstanding.